Assalamu alaikum. We will shortly start, inshallah, within 3 minutes. Not now. Yeah. We will start after 3 minutes, inshallah. Okay. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Welcome you all in the second seminar for the Islamic Organization for Food Security. Welcome you all today, and in the beginning, the opening remarks by His Excellency Yarlam Banulet, the Director General for the Islamic Organization for Food Security. Excellency, the floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillah. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Allahu alayhi sallallahu ya Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Excellencies, distinguished participants, colleagues, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's a great privilege for me to welcome all you today on the second webinar of the Islamic Organization of Food Security. And warm greetings from the beautiful city of Nur Sultan, Republic of Kazakhstan. The webinar today will discuss one of the highly important topics titled as Building Up a Resilient Food System in OIC, One Step Forward. It is unquestionable that now our globe, and particularly our Ummah, are facing the increased malnutrition and food insecurity. The situation is becoming more drastic, since strengthened by the pandemic effect on agriculture and destructive locust invasion outbreak in some areas of OIC. Left behind millions suffering from more stress to find their daily need of food. The webinar will elaborate a general view on the food systems that we need for our Ummah. We need strong, resilient, and sustainable OIC food systems that will use all sorts of cooperation between member countries through reverse linkage programs, know-how exchange, and enhanced technology transfer, increased public and private investment in agriculture. And finally, the system will utilize the latest high-tech innovation in the industry. The stronger food system are, the higher food security is. That is undoubtedly mutual independent paradigms that could increase wealth and health of our ummah. A food system incorporates and harmonizes a right food supply chain. In this regard, I refer to my meeting with the Deputy DG of Food and Agriculture Organization, where he emphasized the food security as an outcome of the food security as an outcome of the food system. The production of safe and halal food, use of less water, and high productive plant variety, increased access to food are far-reaching arms of the proper food system. Only coordination of member states, along with OIC and partner international institutions, lead to building up the said systems. You are muted.
No sound, excuse me.
Sorry. The IOFS has already commenced several strategic programs that establish basics of the food system in OIC. For instance, on the 5th-6th July 2020, IOFS together with United Arab Emirates authorities are going to conduct the workshop on the development of national gene banks in OIC member states. The workshop is aimed at stimulating intra-OIC action in the use of modern, scientific, innovative methods for increased food system resilience, competitiveness, and stability. Excellencies, distinguished participants and colleagues, our speaker today is Dr. Ismail Abdul Hamid, my advisor on research and technology. Dr. Abdul Hamid holds Master and PhD in molecular virology, and he worked over 12 years in international organizations on science and technology and public awareness. I wish you all a useful and fruitful webinar, and your questions are highly appreciated in the end of the presentation. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail.
Okay, thank you, Excellency. Thank you all. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome you again, Excellency, the Director General of IOFS, Excellency, Ambassador, the Deputy Director General of IOFS, Excellencies, distinguished guests, colleagues, and all the participants. We will, yes, today really we are facing our second webinar. We need the help of all. And without the collaboration efforts between all institutions of the IOFS, I think the imagination of building a resilient and the food system could not be reality. We need to be union. We need to be all together to build this food system. Because without a good and strong and resilient, sustainable food system, it would be very difficult or maybe very close to impossible to achieve a food security. Today, this is our aim and our mandate is to explore all the elements of the food system and how can we cooperate together. And you can see from the map that the member states of IOFS, how much by diversifying environmentally and also by the capacity. And I think it is one of the privileges that we already own on our hands, that we already diversifying a lot regarding the atmosphere and the environment. That allow us agriculturally, we can succeed in our mandate and the food system. Today, we will discuss the food system and we will elaborate some of the points that the all-inclusive in the definitions and how it works. And also we will shed light for our situation on food security in OIC member countries. And of course, we will going to explore two examples of the successful stories in our member countries, which are not two, they are actually many of the countries that they are really succeeded in the food security manners, but we just examples. And of course, we will go through the organizational reaction to the pandemic. And in the final, we will brainstorming together about the building the stronger and the resilient food system in our OIC member countries. And of course, there will be plenty of time for Q&A. And also, if not, we are welcome to all the questions, inquiries, and of course, suggestions from all of you and through the email. And also for everything, I always do suggest excellencies to go and for our website. And the IOFS website is very informative and it's improving and it is updating daily. So it is also useful and it will contain up-to-date information about the IOFS activities and the member states. They shed lights every day about that. So the food system we are talking today is encompose the entire actors and interactions along the food value chain. The food value chain that we are really talking about the last few months when it's interrupted because of the pandemic, it is the production and aggregation, processing, marketing, consumption, and the disposal of the agricultural products. So this all value chain we are talking about, it's agriculture, forestry, fisheries. This is the outlines of this food chain system, which is reflecting the economic and the social and the environmental impact. And we have to consider that there is another food subsystems that included that we can also mention it, that like farming system. This is for the production, of course, we need farming system, highly potency, highly using the up-to-date mechanism of agriculture that they use maybe also the new trends of artificial intelligence if we need it. We need this kind of system to be less water consumption, and we need this food supply chain and agriculture system to depend on the gene banks that it could be created, and it's already existed and it will be created also. So we need to get benefit for everything, every element and the factor of the food system that is allowed in our member states, and of course cooperating together and cooperative internationally. This needs a governance. They need trade system that able to accommodate the high production and the efficient food system we are trying to do. And of course, all of this will grasp for us the investments that we need for our old system. We need ideal, sustainable food system that is strong, resilient, and it can be nutritional, healthy, and safe, and produce for us halal food. So the situation for the food security in our member state, as we are part of the globe, it is almost the same. The globe is suffering. The globe is suffering, and all the international reports is stressed in about 821 million people malnutrition, but also plus 100 million, they are really suffering from shortage, acute shortage of food. They do not have the basic food they need every day. Not only because of the pandemic, it was before the pandemic. The situation was going brightly good after the Millennium Development Goals, but the last 3 years in the Sustainable Development Goals, the situation became worse, not as expected. And the final of the 2020, the expectation is even worse, and we need to improve this and to back up very quickly. The situation for us, if we look to the global food system index, food security index, in the last edition in 2019, actually our member states from Asia, they are in the middle, and the top part of this third top of the actually the 113 countries, they are formulating this index. So we are doing, of course, not perfect, but we have to go for the way that we are, the way that we should be. We should be in the beginning of this, because a lot of opportunity we have and a lot of explanatory that we are really dealing with. And of course, the situation in African member countries may be we are in the middle or the bottom. And if we are just in the 111, 102, 109, from 113, the index have really established. So we have to actually stand up, and we have to stop and look to why our food system need to be more important and more secure. We have to be in a better position in this food security index. We have everything to do this. Actually, you can divide it and segment the countries that there is exporters like Indonesia, like others. They are working very well now in improving the food system and to export. And we have also food dependent, but they have the potentiality to do more and the potentiality to grow. And we have, of course, the most difficult situation in our Ummah. We need to see exactly this is the reality we are facing. And this is the food insecurity, food crisis, and the population under need, emergent need for food in our OIC member countries. And of course, the population under stress that can very much bring in the gap of the food stress. So, and go to the food crisis. So now this situation is driving us to really thinking why we are in this currently now in 2020 in this situation. We have to do more for food system, and we have to do more for food security, and we have to do more for the OIC member countries. Now, if you can look for the blue columns, it is the people, it is the numbers of billions of people in our OIC countries that they are in acute food crisis, while the standing ones is the golden or yellow columns that we are failing. We are afraid that they will fail to this kind of stress. We need to do more. We need to know that it is 55 million people in our population now in this blue stage, or the third stage, or emergency food crisis, and the yellow, and we have 66 million people now waiting to bring if nothing have been taken till the end of this year. The situation is even more difficult because not only the pandemic that make the lockdowns of the borders, that did not allow the pesticides to be moved from country to country to control the most outbreak and the most destructive insects that we know. The locust. The desert locust coming from the now in the east horn of Africa, they are really destructive. They can fly over 100 miles. The one swarm is 40 million insects. They can eat in one day the food for 65,000 people. And they eat everything green. What we eat, and even the grasses for our livestock. So the effect, we are living now with this outbreaks of locust. We will find the effect after 2 or 3 months again. We already know that the people of Iran and the Pakistan, 20 million people already suffering and affecting from this kind of outbreaks. These insects, we can learn from this outbreak a lot because it's boundary, they do not know boundaries. They do not know countries. They go to across all OIC member countries and others. So the control of this insect is different because it's need networking, prediction, information centers. They need to be collaborative, institutional and governmental treatment of highly toxic pesticides. So it should be in the desert. And we should collaborate together in a regional and sub-regional efforts very strongly to outcome these outbreaks. We need to destroy it. The last time in controlling the locust, it is when it is coming to our fields. This is the last step. We have to work far beyond that, far earlier, when we decide to make it very strongly. Outbreaks of locust can really destroy our life and make it really noisy and annoying, because it can destroy all our food system. It will come to the food chain from early the beginning. And all the farming system, or for the health system and for the ecological system, environmental system we need, it can also be harmful. And anything that affects the food chain, it affects the whole food system we are living to do it. Our member countries are really taking very serious action for food security. United Arab Emirates established the Food Security Office in 2017. Results come very quickly. In only 2 years. That by the 2017 they were ranking 33 in the global food security index. Just last 2018 they reached 31, and they are now 21, and next year they will be number 9. The first time to be in the top 10, because they have vision, leading innovation-driven food security, establishing innovative initiatives and programs to ensure food security. They have over plus 35 or 38 projects effectively running or in the way to run, and they having a big mandate that to decrease the food waste by 50%. They need to create 16,000 more jobs in the agriculture. The new innovative systems they use. They need to increase agriculture production, 100,000 tons. They need to have an economical return, about $6 billion. Huge amount, the huge facilities, they are capable of doing it, and they started very tough to do it. With the beginning of pandemic in the beginning of this year, early in February 2020, the United Arab Emirates react very quickly, and they formulate a state-of-the-art Food Security Council. And the Food Security Council is responsible for driving the implementation of the National Food Security Strategy. The Council establishing pioneer food project that supports the national economy and enhance the country's competitiveness. They are pushing very much and very hard for the research for salt and drought-tolerant plants. They use the new innovative and encourage and enhance the environmental system to grasp the investment on the indoor vertical innovative agriculture, to reshape the agriculture they have, and they have already settled pillars for this food security to achieve. They are trying to decrease the waste of any food loss. They do not want to see this anymore. They also establishing the kind of programs and this strongly system they have for that. It is a great example to see, and I think we have also several great examples that we have in our OIC countries that we can see. But of course, the webinar as a brainstorming, we can have one or two examples only, unfortunate. But promise that we can have a lot of food security systems to elaborate and to discuss with all of you in coming in coming seminars or webinars, and of course when we have the time to see you in face-to-face. And now thanks for the technologies that it gives me this opportunity to meet all of you and discuss this very important issues. Actually, another example is that it is really awesome and is very successful, and it is very encouraging to follow. The People's Republic of Bangladesh. Bangladesh is 165 million people with very limited areas and very limited arable lands, and even the farming areas is decreasing. But they have facing difficulties, they have problems, and they have establishing an alarming food system, because after they have the World Food Summit in 1996, they decide to make a strong food security system, and they did it. They have the national food policy. They create the national food policy plan of action and Bangladesh country investment plan, and they are working perfectly toward securing the rice, and the rice especially as a basic commodity, and they now have tremendous efforts for this one that we are really proud to share with you. They have in the food planning and the monitoring committee that they are established already, they have up to cabinet level. They have ministries, from Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Disasters, Ministry of Food, Ministry of Social Affairs, Commerce, Finance, all the ministries that it can be in the food supply chain. They are representative in this very effective committee, food planning and monitoring committee. They have groups, working groups, like the food policy working groups, and they have food planning and the monitoring unit, so it can be very effective for tackling the problems of the that it can appear quickly in the arena. Just very little number we have here. We have plenty from Bangladesh actually, but we squeeze it to fit with the time we have today. And just for you to know that from 1997 to 2017, they increased the cereal production from 20 million tons to 53 million tons. Rice, especially, they were the leading, and they come from 1997. They came from 48 million tons to reach more than 28 million tons. It is from 20 million tons in 1997 to 48 million tons in 2017. It's huge and double, and this is why before applying the food system, the future was clue and not clear, but the future now is more clear and more happily and more secure. I need also to take the opportunity to talk very briefly about the IOFS response to what we have faced during this COVID-19 problems that we faced and we are currently facing, and we don't know till when this will be ending. We hope and we pray God that it will end very quickly. So if you need to talk about that, we have immediate term and we have also a short term immediately action and a short term plan. And we have to really this immediate and the midterm to look very quickly about the vision here. The food trade, the intra-OIC food trade is not encouraging, and maybe in any SWOT analysis they put it very hesitant, but actually it is not, it is weakness. Intra-OIC trade should be more, should be higher, and we have to produce more safe and halal food and to go for food trade. Food trade in OIC, in general, actually, there is a lot of agreements that make a legal framework for this trade sector. We have the General Agreement on Economic, Technical, and Commercial Cooperation. It's 1977. And we have the Agreement on Promotion, Protection, and the Guarantee of Investment. It is 1981. And the Framework Agreement on Trade Preferential System, it's 1990. We have to get benefit of this, all our legislation capacities. They made this for us to work, and as a big and a solid base that we can build pillars to have more intra OIC trades. In this behalf, the International Trade Finance Cooperation has allocated $850 million to emergency finance governments to help to cushion the impact of COVID-19. Special fund and the donations has also been working perfectly. And the Islamic Bank and actually the OIC General Secretary and the Islamic Solidarity Fund launched urgent initiatives, and they have also launching that allocate 730 million to member states for the purpose of accommodate and combat the COVID-19. It was very, very soon and very immediate actions have been taken from OIC, and thanks for that. Really, we will move to the multilateral funding. The multilateral funding also came very quickly. And it is on March 27th. And it is about $100 million allocated from the Arab Bank for Economic Development of Africa for sub-Saharan Africans that is already suffering from the food shortage. I believe a lot of information regarding all these topics for IOFS, you can find it easily in our website, iofs.org.kz. And for the midterm measures, I will not go far for this because it is already now working on it. Excellency, the DG announced the Gene Bank activity that it is very early next month, within a couple of weeks. It is one of the very short for medium-term measure, and it will be shortly done perfectly to allow us and to allow OIC countries to know that we have the capability to have our own gene bank one day. Yes, our member states, they have capacities to collect over 50,000, 40,000, and something like that. But we can have millions when we are together. And I think any scientist and the researcher looking forward to see a gene bank that it is only for us, for OIC. The international capacities, they are really great, they are really helpful, and they provide us. But when we have this gene bank and the functional gene bank, we will be able to go for stress and drought tolerant. We will go for less water consumption. We will go for more agricultural friendly. We have to have all our diversification in our food system, in our land, to make our food system possible and resilient. And of course, the researchers in our OIC, they know that, and they are capable of doing that. And of course, with the help of COMSTEC, FAO, and of course the government of the United Arab Emirates, this gene bank will be a step forward. We having the increased productivity plans in our action plan, IOFS action plan, and it is really focusing very much to how we can improve our food system and improve our food security. And we are really in this, and we have the basic commodities also, and we have pest control and the new seeds varieties, and how we can very important. How we can increase water use efficiency and the modern irrigation system. This is for our scientists and for our farm working we have to get to, because water is one of the challenges we are facing. So we need to not to take all our water for agriculture. We need to go for agriculture with a safe use of water consumption and of course modern irrigation system. Halal food and the production of halal food should be one of our main topics and factor in our food system, because halal and the food and the safe food it should be hand in hand, and we have to eat halal and the safe food, and we have to know that we need to have a good grading system for halal food and try to encourage people like Malaysia, Indonesia, and the United Arab Emirates and other countries who are really encouraging the halal food, and other, of course, other OIC member countries. They are really encouraging the halal food, and they need to participate in these trillions dollars of commerce and for trade. We need to get benefit of it, and more than 80% of the halal food come maybe out of the OIC member countries. So we have to go also for food trade and the halal food sector, and we have to go for a reverse linkage programs. Maybe we can get benefit from this one, from maybe the palm oil of Malaysia. They can help others. Maybe the rice products in one of the high developed rice producing country to another countries that they are suffering from rice production or wheat production. We can exchange maybe the experience, the varieties. All this linkage, it should be really focused, really encouraging between us, and it should be included in our food system. So, food security will never be achieved without building up a stronger and resilient food system. And we have to know, before we come to the end of the brainstorming talk today, we need to build efficient food system. Highly efficient food system will enable our member countries to afford the food security and for the basic foods, at least for the nations. We are capable of doing that. The challenges is high, the curves and the numbers are scary, but also the efficient and the pros and cons we have, and the pros are more. We are capable of going to achieve the sustainable food system, and we need a strong, flexible food system that will ensure the delivery of affordable, safe, and nutritional food. We need to promote transparency and the decision enhancing, and to encourage all the stakeholders working in agriculture to come and to participate in the global food system. We need to know that in the globe, all the food is enough for everyone. 40% of the food we produce is losses during the post-harvest mechanism. After the producing and all this kind of stuff, and before and after it going to the end user, 30% are going to waste. And this is a big challenge for us. The other big challenge is that we are facing, that we need to double 50% more of our product from the basic commodities by 2050. At least we have to do that, and we will never do that without the serving all the project to improve to improve the basic commodities. So, post-disasters, food security post-disasters, it is sharply needed. And we need to know that we are not building our food system because of COVID-19 or locust. No, we need our food system because all what we have said before, that we need food, safe, halal, and nutrition, and environmental friendly. So we have to start with the pandemic or with outbreaks. So coming to the end, all what we need is a strong and a resilient food system. And to go to high productive farming, we have to conclude all what we have done and what we have elaborated during this discussion. This also will never be happened without the collaboration of other OIC institutions. We are welcome the cooperation very much, and we need to be together. We need to have SWOT analysis. Basically, it can give us where we are. We need to achieve the plan of action we have made, and we have to come together very quickly for cooperation among OIC, one of our main goals, and to go for halal safe food policy reform. We have already shown that the legal framework is there for trade. We need to, all of this environment will grasp a lot of investment, trade, and food processing that we are doing. High productive farming can be also achieved by introducing new commodities that they are more environmental tolerant, and they are more productive. And more information about the system and of course the activities we are running in IOFS, you will find it in the website. And of course, you are welcome for any questions and brainstorming it together. And if the time was limited, of course, you can email me at any time and we can cooperate. And I hope to hear from Your Excellency, distinguished guests, that all what you really maybe enthusiasm to work with us about the food system and to produce food systems that it can make us secure food-wise. Thank you. Excellency. Yeah? I couldn't see. Could you take yeah, I need that for me. Yeah, okay. So, Excellency DG, could you, the floor is yours for Q&A.
Yes, Doctor, thank you so much. And I think our dear colleagues and participants, they now thinking and trying to formulate their questions. So before that, I would be pleased, first of all, thank you, Doctor, very much for this very comprehensive presentation. This is probably the first attempt to discuss one very important issue on food system. We would be more than happy that all participants who are participating, who are thinking on that issue, would share your ideas with us. So now, as you know, due to pandemic and overall quarantine measures, our OIC specialized institution, Islamic Organization of Food Security, is trying to adapt all our activities to current necessity of virtual meetings. So it is absolutely clear for everybody that what we cannot sit just, we want to do something. And I think it's our mission. And what we're already doing, we have arranged before one webinar on legal and institutional perspectives. Today, Dr. Ismail told you and explained very briefly on what we are thinking towards food system in OIC. And as I already told you, and I invited you for our workshop on the 5th, 6th July. All the information you can get on our website, which we're trying to fill in with all related to food security information there. You can find information on our member countries. You can find information on our programs, what we are implementing so far. We would be again pleased to get your feedback and all your ideas. Let me again give back to Doctor if there is any other questions. I think we have questions from our participants. Doctor?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yes, I think we have our participants who want, because this is online. We are not recorded before. We want to be alive, to be with you. And if you have any questions, dear, please please provide any questions. I think Dr. Hamid, he needs intervention. Dr.
Yeah,
Hamid. Dr. Hamid Apolero.
Yes, thank you very much.
Excellency, how are you today?
Yes, thank you. Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, I'm okay. Thank you very much. I think I must thank the DG and Dr. Ismail for putting this packaging together. And I think Dr. Ismail has graciously done justice to the topic. I know that anytime he's talking about we have to, I said, well, let me come in to insist that the cup actually is half full, is not half empty. And then just for me to say that, yes, there are very many problems about food security in OIC countries. But then the reason why IOFS was established is to address these problems. So the IOFS actually is used to crisis. It was actually born out of crisis. And so the pandemic actually came midstream to find us trying to address all these crises. Now, in the first place, there is a problem of market access. And that is because most of our countries, food is actually an import commodity. Most of our countries actually import food because we don't have that productive base. And that is what IOFS is trying to do, to make sure that they scale up our production base. Just as you have said, Dr. Ismail, the production base is very important, but then we are not starting from point zero. OIC has already attained 20% of intra-OIC trade, and if you compare it with most of the regional international organizations, it's a very good passback. And then in 2016 in Turkey, we took another target of 25% of intra-OIC trade, and of course, food trade is a major component of OIC intra-OIC trade. So therefore, the problem of market access is something that IOFS is also trying to solve. And of course, we are also collaborating with our Islamic Center for Development of Trade, which is ICDT in Casablanca. And we are also linking up with COMSEC on this particular issue. Now, on the issue of policy, policy statistics and policy coherence. Now, the Ministers of Agriculture also have adopted a target of 8% of income for agricultural and food security. So in this case, that target is actually something that we are working to. And as IOFS, apart from the national responses, we have series of regional approach to this particular problem. And of course, Dr. Ismail has mentioned some of the case studies, some of the efforts of some countries who are trying to address the food security issue and trying to address the pandemic problems, responses, and co. But as a collective group, we are looking at issues of capacity building, South-South cooperation, reverse linkage, as we have just mentioned, and then, of course, the science and technology agenda, the water management, the regional food security reserve, and the private sector inclusion, which is what we talk about, Islamic Food Processing Association. All these are what we are taking on. Some people say, well, within this 1 year, we are trying to take on too many issues. But then it's because we have been on the field, and OIC has issued so many resolutions, and IOFS is now in place, or better place, to give expression to this resolution. So I think that is what we are doing in a nutshell, and I believe that Dr. Ismail will be answering your questions as we go along. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Excellency. Thank you very much. Actually, I take note for all what you have mentioned, and I think yes, and this is I have also focused and stressed during the brainstorming talk because we have the capacity and we have legal framework for inter OIC member countries, but we needed to be more, and we have yes, we have. And we have a lot, and this explaining from the beginning with the map of the IOFS member countries. We have a lot, but also we have to do more. Thank you, Excellency, very much. Thank you. Yeah. There is a question, but we could not hear. Sir, we could not hear you.
Yes.
Yes,
this is Hazif Islam from Bangladesh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much for your excellent presentation. But it's not missing. It is it's a debate of somewhere that the food is, what is for food? Food is for nutrition, which is needed to our body for active and healthy life. So you have mentioned that the Bangladesh had a food policy in 2006. That we mentioned that the National Food Policy 2006. We mentioned that, but now in this year we transform it as a food and nutrition security policy. Nutrition is a very important element in the food security. We are step up from the food security to food and nutrition security. Food, if you think that lot of food is in your country, even at the household level, but nutrition status is going down because of the practice. So we simultaneously developed our food security, means the availability and the practice, that means utilization of the food and also distribution of the food. So we have to change our thinking. So we do only for not for the food availability, we also do for food and nutrition security to healthy and active life. Another thing is that we also need a food governance. The food is not the only one ministry in the country. It's depend on the many ministry. So we need to, we mentioned that the Bangladesh is the constituted the FPMC, Food Planning and Monitoring Committee. It is the very nice and the high level cabinet level committee. It's the DG known very well. I gave him in front of him the presentation about the 10 ministers and the 10 secretary are involving in that case, and all other, the private sector also involved, the other committee also. So we need to work with government, private sector, and the academician also. This is the food governance. The first time we involved the food governance. Another thing is that the food is not only food for nutrition. So behavioral change is important in in individual or household. Say for example, if you eat meat or the rice or the other things, you may full your body, but if you not utilize properly in your inside body, in the metabolism, that is not transforming nutrition. So it is not beneficial for your body. So we need to think about food and nutrition right now. Thank you very much.
Excellency, thank you very much indeed. Yes, we need to build food system that it can give us.
Yes, this is food system.
But nutrition food too, and you know, sustained food, and we need nutrition food. Exactly, and we need also to do all of this without harming the environment, with using wisely the water, and to have this complete food system picture. And actually, I'm really happy with the state of the food security, especially for the rice in Bangladesh, and this is why it's attracted me to. Of course, there is a lot of. Maybe we can make one seminar for only case studies of food securities in our member countries, because it's a lot. But we need to see also this food system working together, or with this food security working together hand in hand with all. Like what Bangladesh achieved now with rice, with all the factors Your Excellency have been mentioned, should be also transferred to another countries that they have facing the same problems that Bangladesh faced in 1969.
Yes.
Oh, 96.
Yeah. Actually, in this COVID situation, our Prime Minister directed us, not a single piece of land will be unproductive. If someone, the farmers, lay is unproductive, that will captured by the government and give the other farmers who are wanted to produce their rice. So this type of direction is needed from the high level of the policymaker. And another thing is that we need the data. We discussed the previous meeting. We need the data. The OIC membership, which country, how much food is produced, what is their demand, what is the surplus or deficit. So, and what amount of food need to export and what amount of food need to import. This type of data is needed put in the website, so that we are planning to export or import from our OIC countries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Excellency. Thank you very much. I think we have room for one more question or comment. Yes, sir. How we can give him the, yeah. We try to fix some, yes, computer issues. Yes, please. Yes.
Can I ask a question?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Thank you, Doctor, for
your voice, because we need to hear you properly.
Okay. Thanks. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Thanks for your nice presentation. I am Ramin Ratfar from Iran, and I have a general, yes. I have a general question regarding your future actions in IOFS organization. I think some of the organization actions are still unclear, and it is necessary for the organization to provide more information in this regard. For example, about grain funds and etc. And for example, in my country, there is a lot of questions regarding the organization's actions. Please, I would like to ask Mr. Yerlan to give us more information about IOFS Future's actions. This is my general question, and thanks again for your nice presentation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, dear brother. Just let me to say you that actually we appreciate very much your question and your interest to our institution. The main mission of our institution is strengthening of food security. And Iran is a very important and country of Muslim Ummah. And we can say you that we actually doing a lot, like Dr. Hamid Apolloyero, Deputy Director General, he just told that we have good programs. If you can look on our website, if you can see all correspondence which we communicating with our member countries, you will see that we try to do our best. But at the moment, we also need support from all of you, especially from member countries. We actually, less than 1 year, we started to be active on the OIC, among all institutions from OIC family. And less than 1 year, we elaborated on many things, believe me. We think, as Dr. Hamid already told you, we have very important programs, strategic programs, which will help, which will build up a resilient food system. As you already, Dr. Ismail told and explained very comprehensively or discussed on this issue. We want Iran to be a very active member of our institution. We need your feedback. And we had very good meeting with your ambassador in Nur Sultan. We know that Iran, Islamic Republic of Iran, is facing really hard issues related to latest pandemic. We know about it, and as a new institution, it's not easy, frankly speaking, not easy for us to deal with many things because we are not funding institution. Believe me, we are not funding institution. We are programming institution, and for this reason, only support of member countries will help us as well. So far, Kazakhstan, as the hosting country, is doing their best, and we hope that our very important countries, including Iran, will be with us in this regard. So believe me, only issues related to latest pandemic and its outbreak and those problems not allowed us to do our best. We will do, and we expecting. Actually, we expected our institution to have our annual meeting. We had actually planned for the second ministerial OIC conference and also for our third General Assembly. But due to pandemic, it was postponed. We really don't know now when it will take time. But we doing our best. We're expecting that this type of cooperation, which we discussed today, and your very important, very active feedback is we really need it. We need what we should know exactly what our dear member countries want to have from us, and we know the situation which is happening in your countries. So let's do something, and we hope that we can do only together all these things. We can only together implement our strategic programs. And in this regard, let me assure you that we can work very actively and very productively in this regard. And the food security and strengthening of security in Muslim countries is our main mission. So together we will do our best. Thank you. If you allow me, I will expect any type of correspondence from your side. We hope that we can work positively in this regard. Dr. Ismail?
Excellency, yeah, there is only room maybe for one question because we are run out of time. Yes, and there is the Excellency. Yeah, if you can allow. Yeah, Yes, you can speak now, please.
Myself?
Yes.
Yeah. Hello. Well, actually, I have sent a message to Dr. Ismail. Our brother Ramin Radiar.
Yeah, we need. Yeah, he is coming. Yeah, he is coming to no, here. No, we need.
Yeah, brother Ramin Radiar, I think I just want to ask you that right now, as we speak, Iran has been invited to our meeting on the development of the value chain for wheat, and which is actually going to be under the Center of Excellence in Kazakhstan. And that invitation is standing, and that invitation is going to discuss the issue that you have talked about. I mean, the issue of the Green Fund, because the steering committee, Iran is a member of the steering committee on wheat. And so if we don't get results, then we are going to blame Iran. The other issue, it's about the gene bank. Up till now, we have not received the presentation from Iran. So I think you are the one owing us, and we are not we are not owing you. So please pay us up. I mean, in terms of attending our meetings. Thank you very much. And this meeting is it's next week. It's on the 5th on 6th. We need a very strong participation of Iran at this conference. But I know that Iran has a very good genetic resources, which we can share with member states. Thank you.
Okay. There is room maybe for one question because we are run out of time. If we can allow the speaker, yes, maybe we can. Sir, now you are. But what happens? Yeah. Hello? Yes, you can speak now. Where is the others? Huh? What? Yeah. You can speak now, sir. No, the voice is not there. Just a second, maybe. I do encourage, Excellency, I do encourage to write your question in email because I think we just, now you have, there is a problems in your in your terminal about, we could not hear you properly. So kindly please email me or email the organization for the question and we will going to reply for you quickly, inshallah. Okay.
Mr. Abu Bakr Ahmed's mic is off. So he tried to talk, but his mic is off now.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Okay. So now what we can do now is to wrap up, and we, Excellency DG, you need to make anything for a comment for wrapping up our webinar today.
Thank you very much, Doctor.
Thank you.
I just want to wish for all our colleagues, for our countries, may Allah protect all of you, your families, our countries from the pandemic outbreak, and please stay safe. Be healthy.
Okay, thank you. Thank you all, Excellencies, distinguished guests, and please, if any questions or suggestions, I will be more than happy to receive it from my email. Assalamu alaikum, and see you in the next webinar, inshallah.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you very much. Thank you all also.
Thank you. Could you use the...
Madam Kadiatu. Oh, she's gone.
Excellence.